What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the 606 Whateva Podcast, where we touch on events and agendas around the world and feed them to you from a Chicago perspective.
Man, tell them I'm unapologetically black, melanin heaven. So keep your 2 cents. We charging much more about the rain on them. I can't contain it anymore. Let's go. Let's go.
If you don't know me, I am Big Mel, a.k.a. The Premise. I'm laughing because we got the guys in the building. We've had hella conversation. I'm not from Cali either. You know, they say hella. We from the South. We from the city. We done had a lot of convo before this one started. So it should be very interesting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it. Fellas, what's going on? How y'all feeling? How was the week? Missed you, bro.
Hey,
you know what I'm
glad to be
back.
back.
A powerful episode last week.
Yeah.
How your son doing? What's going on with the wait? To my immediate left, we got my homie, my bro, my ace, Ray Skilly,
yes,
a.k.a. Lyrics to Go, a.k.a. Underground Go.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
What's going on with the son and how's that football career going?
So this is sophomore year. It's last year JV going to varsity next year.
Right.
His team went 7-2 this year. They had one of the best records in that division for him. The varsity team went to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. Argo High School, the Argonauts.
Okay.
He got to suit up for the varsity game. He didn't get to play.
Nice.
But they lost. They lost Hersey, I think, out in Arlington Heights, and them some D1.
Facts.
They're the real deal.
Facts.
Hey, props to them.
Facts.
But next year it'll be his show because he's varsity next year, and
that's dope. He got to suit up. And
he got to suit up and be a part of
it.
it. But how the school was in an uproar because it's been 13 years since that was pretty dope.
Good, man. I'm glad because you missed a few episodes, but definitely a worthy reason for missing, man. I salute to the young bro.
Thank you.
Know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Next year is gonna be a great year.
I can't wait.
I feel it, and I'm gonna get out to a game.
You know I'm about to say that next and put y'all ass on the spot.
I'm gonna get out to a game, bro. You got my word on that. To my immediate right, we got my homie, my bro, my cousin, Vince, aka Vince Sanity. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah.
You ready to go?
Let's do it.
I know we've been.
Hey, I see the look in Vince's eyes, man. He like he ready, man.
Hey, nigga, he ain't playing no game whatsoever. And with that being said, bro, we got a lot to talk about, man. Obviously, a lot of podcasts gonna have to turn whatever the name of their podcast is to the Yeezy Show podcast.
Right.
Because Ye is just like killing the airwaves.
Yep.
We're gonna speak on the Kyrie situation. First of all, we hip hop heads. You know what I mean? So there was a tragedy that happened. I know everybody's been kind of speaking on it and kind of giving their own dialogue on it. I'm not all the way comfortable with doing that. I've seen videos.
Right.
Shout out to the boy Gilly, because that is facts. Like every time now I could see people posting. So just in case if you don't know what I'm talking about, the legendary, and I'll put it out there, the legendary group, the Migos, lost a member due to a homicide, a tragedy. Takeoff got shot in the back of the head. Also got shot in the arm, dead immediately. Once you get a back of the head shot,
That's
over.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So salute to that brother. They made a lot of beautiful music together. I've always said they were, legends in their own man. They kind of steered the boat to what everybody's doing. That sound, sonically, they was on point with it. Now I know like there were a few videos out there prior to what happened, like just filming, the brief argument that was going on. And, kind of going back and forth. But there was absolutely no room or reason for whoever filmed when Takeoff was laying on the ground.
Yeah, that was not,
It was totally no room for that. That situation. Now you knew what happened and you still wanted to film it and probably got paid from, what's the?
TMZ.
TMZ. Probably got paid from TMZ to do it. So, it's just unfortunate. A lot of things, kind of transpired from it. And, RP Takeoff, I don't know if you guys want to dialogue on any of it.
I do a little bit.
But it was definitely a negative situation, and I do agree with Gilly. Like once the man is deceased and on the ground, why are you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you feeling? Skills, you wanted to say something?
Just a little bit, something, man. I know, and it's always a moment because I remember that day I was going to school, and back then, it wasn't on social media, so you heard it on the radio.
Facts.
We all listened to radio in the morning, watched the news in the morning, and it came on WGCI, and it was like Tupac Shakur didn't survive gunshot wounds or whatever in Vegas, like he was gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember being like, out of here, like Pac ain't dead. Like
I
remember how surreal it was. Yeah. And then maybe almost a year later, if it was a year later for Big.
Yeah.
And then Big was like on WGN that morning and he got killed. And it was just, I remember how that felt as a teenager who was a huge fan of their music. And I remember feeling empty when that happened. I remember feeling like, so what do I listen to now?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking forward to,
these are facts, bro.
like, what do I do now? Like, how do you do that? Like, it was a weird feeling for somebody in that status to just be taken from us like that. So when I look at this generation and they're going through this, it's crazy how I witnessed them have the same reaction. It's a surreal experience. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is they didn't expect it to be him. That's why, from what I'm seeing with younger people, they so shocked. But they're not shocked that rappers dying.
Right.
Man, I mean, what is...
It's not as shocking as that was at one point.
Because, what number is he? Like, right now, when you think about it, man, it's more than a handful.
I think it took it to be him.
Yeah, for sure.
For it to be surreal. I think everyone else who died prior to this, it was like, well, that's how they go. You know what I'm saying? But to lose a member of one of the biggest rap groups, and that's it. I'm talking about the guy ain't even 30 years old, bro.
28.
Didn't even make 30, and he out of there. That's it. And I think that was the similarity to that moment I had then, in terms of what I see with people now.
Yep. Vince, you got something?
I think Skills just said it all. One, it's unfortunate, but two, when I heard it and had some time to like digest it, like I just came away with the thought of like, I just feel like we in our culture we have a problem.
Yeah.
And like our problem is, and I think we talked about it in pre-production, we gotta value life more than what we do.
Yeah. Facts.
There's no, I know people, I've heard things where people try to, touch to the point of, the dangers around, being in certain areas and, you shooting dice or what have you. And I get it. Like if you up, people don't want to let you out the game. And it's a whole bunch of risk and a whole bunch of shit related to that.
To the casino.
Right. But, and if that's the case, if you want to gamble,
you know what I mean?
Especially, you somebody of a certain stature, you want to gamble, go to the casino and gamble. Right. But yeah, I just think, man, it just, even within that small subsection of hip hop artists, like the rate at which we seeing artists die at young ages, at relatively young ages. And to Skill's point, when it was Big and Pac, it was shocking, right? Because you had never, at least in our age group, that was the first time we kind of experienced that kind of loss from our music idols, right? From an entertainment perspective, right?
Back to back.
Yeah, and now you hear about it, and it's like, I hate to say it, but it's like it happens with such frequency now that you're like, I'm not even stunned anymore. And I'm like, it's a damn shame when we're getting to the point where so many of these artists are getting knocked out the paint that it's almost like it's not even shocking anymore.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame, but it's like you being shocked, that's no longer the case. And I just feel like whether it's music, whether it's our own communities, what have you, man, we got like, There's too many people out here that's dying before they should, and we got to start putting a value on Black lives.
Facts.
For real. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head, man. And I think, like one of the main issues to that is Boosie was on Drink Champs. Shout out to Boosie, and he basically, kind of confessed that, being a hip hop artist is one of the most fucking dangerous jobs out there. And, it's just the whole keeping it real mentality. We joke about, the Dave Chappelle episode, but it's like, I remember when we were coming up, right? Listen to, Dr. Dre, NWA. I remember Dr. Dre had a line that was like outside of the actual entertainment portion of what he does, and he was like, listen, man, this is just entertainment. Somebody had asked him a question in regards to, well, he said this, somebody said this, what's going on? He was like, listen, man, it's just entertainment in it. And some of this shit shouldn't be taken as seriously as it's taken. Right. But as long as you feel good about the situation, and want to pay to listen to it, then do that. But the expectations of us having to live out certain things that are being, rapped and recorded in our music, hip hop is the only segment of music that has to engulf themselves in what's being spewed on wax. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Skills, I don't know if that'll ever change.
I don't think so. I think because it's so popular, that style of music, what it represents, it's no different than films. It's like, it doesn't matter how many movies Martin Scorsese make, I'm gonna see them all.
Yeah.
As many gangster movies he make, I always want to see a gangster movie. And people always want to hear gangster music.
Facts. And they want to be a part of it from a distance. But the problem is the people that are actually making it are in it.
They in it.
Right.
So it's unfortunate, man. Rest in peace. Takeoff. Our condolences and prayers go out to the family. Everybody that, is feeling this situation. I felt it too. Like, I learned about it. I'm taking my daughter to school and she told me about it. You know what I mean? So, R.I.P.
We don't even know a lot of these new artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know some, but the ones that we know are very, they have to be popular for us to know their work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the biggest rap groups.
In my opinion, they're legends in their own minds. You know what I mean? Like, they set a path for this newer generation, and they have hit after hit after hit after hit. So it's definitely unfortunate. So again, prayers go out to the family, and R.I.P. Takeoff. Kind of keeping the same. Staying in the same lane as far as this hip hop thing, we got some Ye news again. Okay. So it's been said that Kanye West attacks one of George Floyd's family members. We're gonna call it the baby mama, the mother of his child, saying things that are kind of egregious in a sense. How it's put in the media. West basically attacked a family member of George Floyd on Sunday shortly after saying he wanted to apologize. When he did apologize for the false accusations about George Floyd's death. Okay. In an Instagram post, the rapper lashed out against Roxy Washington, the mother of Floyd's daughter, after she moved to file a $250 million lawsuit over his recent remarks about the police brutality victim. She was basically, kind of giving it to her like, how dare you, basically say what you said when, I've donated money to your daughter, I have, and you want to do this, and this, and it's just another bad look for Kanye West. So I want to ask you guys a question. Is he allowed to, kind of take the stance that he takes? And according to Kanye, this is exactly what Kanye was talking about. Like how the media once again is just like injecting these narratives on Kanye West that he's just this evil individual. Okay. And, putting these words out there. But on his side of the fence, he did donate a very healthy portion to the Floyd family, and she still wanted to sue him for $250 million because of what he said on Drink Champs. Well, is it right? Is there a right or wrong, or should Kanye have the know-how to just not even touch that?
I think the last statement you said is ultimately what it all is.
Right.
I think
you put it on Instagram.
You definitely at this point you definitely need to keep your distance from posting any conversations you're having with the family.
But I thought his Instagram guy didn't it get deactivated?
I
don't think so.
Anymore.
Yeah.
I think certain things they let slide because it's good to let slide.
I know his Twitter got back up because bought that the Tesla
Elon
guy,
Musk,
right?
yeah.
Elon Musk brought
And that's a whole
that's a whole nother
disaster.
Thing.
Right.
His Instagram, I thought it was deactivated and everything. Nah,
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was.
So Skills, and I know I'm gonna holler at you.
It ain't gonna take me long with it, right?
What's going on with Kanye West? Shut your mouth.
I'll say this. And with everything, right? And it is sad because it's like the minute that you go off on the deep end and say a lot of things that don't make sense to some people or is real controversial, and then you come back and say something that I actually understand,
right?
It's almost like it gets lost in translation,
Facts.
So there's a lot of things he said you kind of look and was like, what the fuck is that about? But this, I actually understand. Like, without any pressure at all, out of the own kindness of my heart, I'd set up a college fund for, the man's daughter.
Yeah.
And whatever else money he gave the family, if he actually did what he
And this
said
is also prior to the comments he stated on Drink Champs.
This is doing when it just happened. It was doing everything.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter movement. It was doing the very beginning of that.
Mm-hmm.
And to let him look, because basically it's not the family. It's somebody called him like, hey, you can get a lot of money off what he just did. That's what starts this process, right? It's the American way. We just sue everybody who got money.
Yeah.
Somebody got in their ear and let them know, we can get
$250 million.
And they was like, how much? And they said $250 million. They said, hey, do what you got to do. Because I'm sure it's pro bono because it's a lot of money, right? So we know what it is. For him to be offended by that, I would understand. Like, I would be offended by that. You know what I'm saying? I would understand who behind it, but I would still be offended. Like, when nobody really gave a damn, I took it upon the kindness of my heart to do something very generous for your family.
Facts.
The first opportunity somebody give you to fuck me over, you take it. And I'd be offended by that too. Like, why would you? You could have said, no, Kanye was good to us. He set up a college fund for my daughter. I ain't gonna play him. He did good by us. You could have did that. You could have said that. Instead, you took the phone call and said, $250 million? All right, well, hey, let's go.
Yeah. So, Skills, I don't disagree with you in regards to, how he feels about the situation. Just considering what just transpired, right? Do you kind of leave that alone? Or do you kind of even, you do anything, I feel like, but put it on a public stand for people to view and look at?
Don't show your hand, Kanye.
So here's my question. Does the fact that you donated money give you a free pass from disseminating false information? And that's my question. So if he donated money to George Floyd's family, okay, cool. But you're on Drink Champs, which is
very
popular, got a ton of exposure.
Probably the best right now.
Right. And you're out here putting out statements that have been shown to be categorically false. So you out here saying, you know, first of all, you out here referencing a Candace Owens documentary. Okay.
Candace Owens.
And then when referencing that documentary, then when referencing the documentary, you saying that George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose when the medical examiner was already gone on record and said George Floyd died because somebody put their knee on the back of his neck for 9 minutes. And so I guess what I'm saying is it's hard for, I'm not even gonna say it's hard. I can't separate the fact that you donated money to this man's family. It doesn't give you a pass from my perspective.
No.
From saying something.
From saying something. He gave the family something, right? And I'm not saying he's like the...
Well, not from saying something in regards to rebuttaling what the baby mama said.
Right.
But going on Drink Champs, like, okay, I give you $250.
Right.
I pay for your kids' tuition.
Right.
Now I could go on Drink Champs
and say whatever the fuck I want to say.
George Floyd didn't die from a knee on the neck.
Right.
I agree. That's what I said.
So
The
that's
last statement you made, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going public saying that stupid shit.
But even after that, like, so
I just don't think my first. But again, I'm an alien, so please forgive me. But at that point, for me personally, if I see that, my first instinct, and I don't even think hers is. Let me be clear. It was a phone call made to her.
facts.
It wasn't something she contacted somebody to pursue. I believe that in my heart. So I'm just saying, personally, if I'm going through this and he says that, I'm like, that's some real stupid shit to say. I'll say that, and maybe if I want to post that, I'll say he just said some of the stupidest shit ever. But nothing in my mind would say I'm going to sue him for $250 million for saying it. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't personally immediately say, oh, you said that, I'm suing you for $250 million.
Right.
And I don't believe that. That's what I'm saying.
So you almost feel like there should, instead of you going through this emotional fit, maybe it's almost appropriate to, call Miss Washington and say, listen, I know what I said was hurtful. I did do a public apology, but let me apologize to you personally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is after she, put that out there, because it's like, even kind of what Vince said, because you donated this huge lump sum of money.
Right, you can't disrespect the person.
Don't tarnish our name.
Yeah.
Right, you still don't want to. Right.
Even if she's just trying to gain financial advantage here and don't even give a fuck about, like, oh shit, here it comes. Let me lick my chops.
Right.
It's still, Kanye, it was still a very bad move.
It was unnecessary.
And you acknowledged it.
Yeah.
But now you have to also
after you lost $1 billion.
Right. You know what I mean? You can't just get back. You can't get back to it like, oh man, how can you do this to me, yo stupid ass? I gave you this. You can't do that. Still, Kanye.
So
can't do that.
Did he acknowledge it?
People feel he just isn't smart enough to know you can't show people that you feel it.
Did he? So was the acknowledgement after he lost $1 billion in net worth on paper, or when was
Yes.
it? Okay.
All this is after.
And he finally realized what it had a feeling of what it felt like to have somebody's knee on his neck.
Yeah, he said that.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking the question. Okay. That's it.
So also, Kanye West, the fabulous reason Kanye West can't sell his White Lives Matter shirts. Did you guys read up on it?
Man, yeah.
So what? How do you get? Listen, man, we ain't
okay.
got it.
Can I
Go
just
ahead, though.
can I
Go
just say
ahead.
this?
I already know you love it.
No. I'm just gonna say
Love
this.
it.
Between between how all the shit went down with Adidas and him finding out he don't own his designs, to him selling this shirt and he don't even own the trademark. Like it's maybe it's just me. It's really causing me to question, like, how good of a business person is he actually? Because it seems like those are two things you would know, or your business people would know immediately. Like, I'm selling big male, shirts with your face. Like, you gonna make sure. You would think somewhere along the line, oh shit, if I'm really trying to sell these, I better make sure I own the trademark. And it's like, it's the second damn situation where somebody has taken something from him that he probably thought he owned outright, and then come to find out he can't do nothing with it. And so I'm just like, it's really causing me to question, like, damn, did this dude get $1 billion on accident, or was it because of like what the hell is going on?
It wasn't an accident. I don't believe those deals exist. Right? This is what I'm telling you in terms of that. Like, I think everybody who gets in the business, they're all looking to get the best deal. No doubt. Yeah. They strike the best deal with the right people at the right time. Facts. When I think of that, and I'm gonna be quick with it, but when I think of that, I think of how Master P and Cash Money, how they took advantage of that moment and got a great deal. You know what I'm saying? That's a rare thing. Normally in business, you get screwed.
Absolutely.
And everybody gets screwed, right?
It's gonna happen. Period.
Right?
It's gonna happen.
Michael Jordan got screwed. Everybody done got played.
No doubt.
And I think with him, it's true. When the realization hits, I honestly feel like what I said earlier. I think he tells people, I have the kind of power and leverage with my supporters. You're gonna give me what I want, or I'm going to destroy you. And they look at him and probably laugh him off because they don't have that. Your supporters don't have the power that the people who invested in you have, Kanye. Like, stop playing. Like, they might say we're not going to wear those Yeezy shoes, but shit, we done made $50 billion off of them already anyway. We're okay with that.
You know what I mean?
We're okay with that. For like 4 years, those were some of the hottest shoes being worn on the streets, and we got that money. So, hey, we'll find another Yeezy. That's how they look at artists. That's how they look at black artists especially. Like, we'll find another you. You're not the only Kanye. We'll find another Kanye. And just like the OJ thing, and I made reference to that before, like, when OJ was like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Like, it's Kanye. Like, I'm not black, I'm Kanye. Yeah. And they remind Kanye, no, you're black.
Right.
You got the same bogus deals they used to get back in the B.B. King days. Like, it ain't changed.
It's just the bulk of money you receive is a little different.
And Adidas looked at it like...
Now, you ate real good off of it. You ate real good off of it. But then how much did they eat if you ate that good?
And Adidas is like, I'm sure there've been discussions where they're like, all right, so what we gonna do now is we're gonna take all this energy we done put into these Yeezys and we're gonna shift that focus towards Ivy Park and put all that money in the Beyonce. Yeah, we okay. We can weather the storm. Right.
We still got a major artist.
Right.
Rock with us.
We can weather the storm. Right.
That's
and won't be a problem. She will not have a moment like this.
No.
Anything attached to Jay-Z or Beyonce.
No.
She's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's how they look at it.
Yep.
She's not a problem. She's gonna get us a lot of money, and she's not a problem. She knows how to play this game.
Yeah. So
she knows how to play the game.
Yep.
Like,
and Yeezy does not know how.
He does not know. He wants to play the game how they play.
Yep. And say that one more time.
Kanye wants to play the game how they play the game. You are not one of them.
So, with that being said, like, my only angst with Kanye is, how in the world do you expect me, being a part of this culture, to ride with you on certain topics and issues when there's such a seesaw effect to our relationship?
That's yeah.
You kill us in one moment, come on back in a second moment, and then it's like this, like, geez, like you're confusing the fuck out of us.
They trying to crucify a black man. Do something about it.
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go. Like, and even on Drink Champs, I don't know if y'all watched the whole.
I watched a lot of it.
He even said that, like, if I offended or hurt the culture when somebody kidnaps my kids, y'all need to speak up and say something. I was like, what?
What? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man? Like, what are you saying right now, man? It's that whole,
It's that narcissism.
Putting that
I
foot in
hate
your
parts.
mouth, man.
I'd be so afraid of that word. Women use that word so much, I almost want to throw up when I hear it. But Kanye is the poster
It's a child for
boy
narcissism.
for what that
What it
term
means, yes.
If you want to know what it means,
Right.
you just use
Look,
Kanye
just
as
watch him. Right.
And it's supposed to be just a characteristic trait. But sometimes I feel like it's a sickness for him.
Yeah.
I really do feel like it's a sickness for that man.
Don't get me wrong. You're supposed to love yourself. You're supposed to think highly of
Facts.
yourself.
Everybody has-
I would look funny
Everybody has
at a
a
person
picture that-
who doesn't. But
Wrong.
right, yeah. But
If you experience confidence,
exactly,
in your
you
life,
should. No doubt. But what he on some next level shit.
You
Yeah.
think you can spew anything,
Right.
and come out on the other side of it because, like, I'm me, and that's the issue I have with him. Mixing another situation into this, as far as the segue goes, Kyrie Irving.
Good old Kyrie.
We'll move to Kyrie. I know we got some good dialogue on this.
Kyrie.
Let's start off by first saying Nike suspends its relationship with Kyrie Irving over anti-Semitic posts, which, if you don't know, Kyrie Irving posted a movie
From
on
Hebrew
his
to Negro.
Yes, from Hebrew to Negro. Posted it on his timeline, which has a lot of anti-Semitic. Have you guys seen the doc?
I haven't seen
Nah.
it.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
either. Well, Jeff Bezos is looking forward to us looking at it because the price went up since this Kyrie thing happened. So, is it fair that Nike suspended their relationship with Kyrie Irving, or is this situation becoming trendy? Like,
It is becoming.
and I will shoot any of you motherfuckers down that even dream about spewing anything anti-Semitic.
But we can stream it and put it out there and profit off of it, and it's no problem.
Facts. But we had good conversation and dialogue in the earlier in the pre-production, whereas it's different because Jeff Bezos is just selling something on his platform.
Yeah.
And Kyrie Irving is promoting it because he's not selling it, but he put it on his platform.
Right.
So I'll say this much, and yeah, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest Kyrie Irving fan in the world, but I also say that, so I try not to do the whataboutism thing. So I'm gonna put it into two contexts. One, I'm not the biggest Kyrie Irving fan in the world, but then two, there is something.
We look at episode 1 though. You was vouching for Kyrie.
But then two, there's also something that is hilarious about Nike taking a principled stand on anything. Like that's I find that to be hilarious in a number of different areas. But that being said, in a real world scenario, he was, and I'm sure there's probably some contractual language or what have you around ending their relationship. But like, of course, the answer is, of course, Nike can, in its purview, they can do whatever the hell they want to. He was signed to their brand or what have you. But it's funny because with other athletes who have had issues with Nike, they have suspended the relationship for a considerable amount of time before they reinstalled their business relationship with the athlete to represent Nike. So I say that to say I don't necessarily know if Nike is
a credible source.
Yeah, like they're not a credible source to me, and I think it's definitely yeah, it's definitely a situation, I think, where, you know, if you remember, what was it, last season, they got caught up in some
Colin Kaepernick?
Not even the Kaepernick thing, but they got caught up in a whole thing about their facilities in China and even the sweatshops, and even like, you know, about all of that, and they were kind of on the wrong side of that and that whole thing. And so, yeah, I think this is Nike probably looking at it like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to, in the court of public opinion, for us to win some points. And we can, everybody at this point is, you know, off the Kyrie bandwagon for whatever, you know, whether you agree or disagree, everybody's jumping off on it. And so it's politically expedient for them to also jump off the bandwagon. So so I'm not surprised.
Well, they did the same thing with the Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
And here's the funny thing about it, right? So I'm not a huge Kyrie fan on some of the things he said in the past. Mm-hmm. If we go back to like our first couple episodes on this show, one of the main hot topics was Kyrie Irving, right? And what he was going through as far as the vaccine. You know, I vouched for him with that. Like, it's his body. He's taking the consequences. Boom. So with this Nike situation, you know, they entered into a deal with Colin Kaepernick because of his stance on injustice and how this country, not even the league, like let's put that out there, not the NFL, and I don't want to get crazy in the Colin Kaepernick thing, but how there are injustices in this country when we talk about police brutality and inequality, how he stood on that, and Nike backed him, right? Yep. But they didn't disconnect their relationship with the NFL, right? So you back Colin Kaepernick, it's almost like you saying, we agree with you. We agree that there's like inequality going on within
the commercial. The Nike commercial.
We totally agree with that. You didn't sit there and say, you know what? Whoever the NFL is sponsoring that's under Nike, we're either gonna drop them, or we're just gonna discontinue our relationship with them. Of course, they won't do that, right?
I'm thinking size.
But you know, when it comes to like, we gotta suspend. Suspend means okay, like maybe you can come back. Right now, it's just not a good look for us.
Yeah.
So. There's an opportunity realm for Nike, and we all know that, and we get it. So just kind of moving into something a little deeper than Nike is, and this one's a doozy, you know what I mean? Is Kyrie Irving even deeper than that, right? So we all know that. I will speak out for myself before any of you guys, because y'all have microphones attached to y'all as well. I am not anti-Semitic, right? We talked about this in the pre-production. I even, relate to my kids that we're human before we're anything. Yeah. But certain entities in society won't allow us to be that because of the color of our skin. Just put that out there. Do you feel like Kyrie Irving, and we'll get into Kanye West because it's very similar, you know what I mean? Do we feel like Kyrie Irving had a point, not in what he posted, but his response to the media when they tried to press him to apologize right then and there? If you heard what he said, how did you guys feel about that segment? How did you feel about his response? And right, wrong, or indifferent, did you rock with it?
I rock with everything he said in the press conference. I knew that he had come prepared to give more clarity to what he meant. Yeah. He felt, and we've all, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I can relate to this in so many ways. We all had a moment as men where someone accused us of something that we didn't do. And to make the situation better, we can easily just apologize and move on.
Facts.
But when you're a man with integrity, you can't say you did something wrong in that apology. It's a weird way of apologizing that men do at times.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I made you feel a certain way, that wasn't my intention, but I did not say what you're saying that I said.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
We've all had that moment. So that's what I felt like in a press conference. I felt like he came with a written statement prepared to break down what his statement really meant and to make it clear that it was not against anybody.
Yeah.
It was just pro his culture and the truth of history.
Yep.
So when I heard that, I said, well, he's absolutely right to say that. But in this age, facts don't matter. And I saw immediately when he said that, the reporter, right after he said that, I think they made it very clear. So yes or no to this question.
Yeah.
That was the very next statement. There was nothing to go against what he said. They made it clear. So basically, we need a yes or no to this question.
And I totally agree with everything you said about how the media tried to coerce him.
Yeah, you said all that nice shit, but this is what we want to hear.
But one of the things that really, kind of stuck with me is once when they was like, do you realize how many people you hurt?
Right.
And, he was like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
What kind of verbiage did I use that hurt people? And then two, the one thing that I personally not just respected, but really felt a sense of pride in is when he, kind of brought it back to what's been going on with us for so
right.
long. And anytime situations like this occur with us, what's the recourse? Is there a recourse? Has
right.
there ever been a recourse?
Right.
And I just, first of all, I don't recognize or acknowledge or appreciate or respect hate.
Right.
Towards any culture, any individual, or period. But I always feel like, and I'm gonna let y'all speak on it, but I always feel like there's never a reciprocated, just charge, a reciprocated charge towards when our culture is disrespected, because it's obviously, I'm not talking about, let's not go back to like Jim Crow days and slavery. I get it.
Right.
We've been where we've been. I'm talking about in recent scenarios when we've been like disrespected, and the only time that there is cancellation or there's an issue is when you disrespecting black folks, but man, black folks 80% of this or such and such, and us as the owners gotta make you an example, white guy, for fucking up. You know what I mean? So you're done,
bad for business.
And we're bad for business. But I don't feel like there's any type of proactivity, like where they'll just say, I don't care how much money we'll lose from this, you're gone, because you offended a community that we respect. But it doesn't matter what you see. Look at Adidas. That was $1 billion relationship between them and Kanye. They was like, it's over with. Same with Kyrie. Like the Brooklyn Nets, like stand to like lose a lot of. A franchise is all about winning. That's when more money come in.
You need us more than we need you.
Bam, and you just like literally just say, okay, we're done without any questions asked because you did this, and this.
We're gonna punish you.
I feel like that situation and that pride in making sure that this culture is respected is not reciprocated when our culture is disrespected. That's how I feel. Vince, I know, Skills that spoke on it, but I guess we're there now. Like, is the feeling of what Kyrie did obviously is stupid because we know what it is out here from a business aspect. But
you're gonna lose money when you say it.
Do we feel like there's an unfair advantage when it comes to, coaches feeling disrespected and not being people not being held accountable in the exact same way?
There's people that are
because it almost seems like, here's the next thing, guys. Like, it almost seems like there's gonna have to be plenty of examples made because this feels like an attack.
You are important.
Like, two of some of the biggest black people have been accused of anti-Semitic scenarios
because they're not the most important. And that's why they make it clear. You can talk about black people. You can talk about Hispanic people. You can make fun of Asian people. You can make fun of Indian people. You can make fun of Arabian people. You can make fun of there's a list that you can make fun of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be quick, Parker. I really want to hear what you're going to say on this. Like, you can watch American Dad. You can watch all of these cartoons and see Jewish people make fun of every culture in the most foul way possible. And people watch these shows and it's very humorous. You can make fun of whatever you want. If you are black, you cannot offend white people or Jewish people, period. It is very clear. It is no other line that needs to be drawn. That is the clear line. Everyone who does business understands this line.
Yep.
They know their limitations.
Period.
You can make fun of anybody. You can have a show called Nigga Show, and that's okay. Nobody will lose their job for a nigga show. You cannot offend Caucasian people or Jewish people. It is made clear you can't do that.
And you shouldn't either, right?
Not that you shouldn't.
Right, you shouldn't.
No, it's not fair. No, it's not even.
That's my point.
There is a culture of people who has more power than others, and they can punish you in a different way.
Because we don't want to get into the, well, if you could do it to me, I could do it to you.
No.
Right. But we're talking about when it happens.
Like, you do it to me.
When it happens.
And I burn down your house. You do it to them, and they burn every family member's house.
Man.
Like, it's a difference.
Listen.
And it's clear that it's a difference.
Vince, let me write this.
I don't know.
Yeah, I look at it like this. So I truly, truly, truly believe, like, in his heart of hearts, do I think Kyrie Irving is an anti-Semite? I don't. Not at all. I don't think he is at all. I don't get the impression that he has that in his heart. The thing, and we talked about it in the pre-production, I was like, the thing that, just for him specifically, I was like, there's been, over the last few years, there's been so much emphasis on how he moves on the court and off the court. Regardless of whether you agree with the vaccination stance or don't, at this point, I don't.
All the other things.
Yeah, I really don't even give a damn. In addition, right, to all the other stuff that proceeds to it, I just.
The world is flat.
Yeah, like the, flat Earth thing. The and even putting it in the context of like what he does with his job, even like all of the shit that's gone on with the Nets as a basketball team. I felt like so much stuff was, some of it justified, some of it unjustified, but so much has been tied to him that I felt like that young man, that brother had such a bullseye on him that when he found himself under the spotlight for this, I'm not gonna lie, part of me was like, I wish he would just be like, look, I'm,
as a black man,
yeah,
like,
just
come on, bro.
just like man, just like get the
get caught in,
get the heat off of you. I know, you might have to, I don't want to say swallow your pride, but you might have to just make it plain and be like, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. Just whatever you needed to say or do to get them off of you, because the media cycle is so
Is it what Kanye said? Is it the Jewish media that's done this?
I'm just saying, like, the media.
Part of the media,
Right.
So you might not want to.
But I just wanted him. But no, I just wanted him to do whatever he needed to do initially that would just like get people off of him the fastest way possible. And I felt
apologized, didn't he?
He did the next morning.
he apologized the next morning. But
And
I
they
think
still suspended him after.
right. And I think this, to me, I think, and this gets deeper off into it, but I think part of it was, you know, they didn't like the way he apologized, and you can take that for whatever it's worth.
Or they didn't like the press conference.
And they didn't like
that evening.
right. They didn't like the optics of the press
Didn't
conference,
say the right words.
and he didn't say it the quote unquote the right way.
He was doing everything
He was
but
giving
saying
them the
the
But then I also wonder how much of this too is predicated on the fact that he basically ghosted the owner. Because the owner was trying to get in touch with him.
Right.
The owner was trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
And from everything we heard, he didn't respond to any of the communication.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's still I feel like that didn't
Help.
that definitely didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do feel like the rules they are putting in place for his quote unquote return is
Silly.
set up and I was telling a family member about this. I'm like, 9 times out of 10 I don't buy into conspiracy theories and all this shit. But I'm like, to me this reads as we're gonna put these hurdles in place because we think you're not going to want to agree to them, and that it's going to be the fastest way to help us move on from you.
Well, you're gonna have to. You're gonna come on your knees begging for your money to satisfy us.
Right.
That's exactly what he's gonna have to.
Right.
Yep.
And they used to beat slaves to make example out of them for the other slaves. Like they'll sick the dogs on the
Skills,
slave.
are you comparing this to slavery?
I'm telling you, it ain't no different. I'm telling you that they always, this is the same tactic used for slavery, the tactic of fear. Like they'll sick the dogs on a runaway slave and make the rest of them watch you.
This
Because
is
they
like
want you to know what happened.
Jim Crow rules is what you doing.
I'm just saying facts.
I'm gonna just say this. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out because I think somebody's gonna have to blink, and either he's gonna have to blink, or the team's gonna have to blink. Somebody's gonna have to
blink. What
blink.
do you think he has to do right now?
You know,
he did.
can I be perfectly honest with you? I'll be honest. I think the whole idea that he still needs to donate $500,000 to an organization. I'll be honest. He donated. He coughed up $500,000 to the ADL. The ADL refused to take his donation. I don't know what more you want him to do on that.
Fact.
To the charity of their choice. They will accept the money.
The sensitivity training. That makes me, I'll be honest, that makes me a little bit squeamish because I'm like, well, in my opinion, there's no concrete proof that he's anti-Semitic. He might be guilty of bad judgment from posting a link, but I just feel like, and this is coming from somebody that's not his biggest fan, I just don't see any. I need to see more concrete proof that he's anti-Semitic.
There is no
anything
proof.
Other than saying, "Hey, you posted a link to a movie," which, can I be quite honest, I'm willing to bet he ain't even watched the movie.
He probably watched the movie.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that. I'm not 100% convinced that he watched the movie. I think but I digress. But either way, I'm not 100% convinced he's an anti-Semite, so I'm not understanding the need for sensitivity training.
I don't think that he is. I don't think that he's
I just don't get it. Yeah.
But in this generation, you're whatever the hell the media says that you are. If they say that you're a rapist, then you're a rapist. Their legacy is you're a rapist. If they say that you're a racist, then you're a racist. For the rest of your legacy, you're going to be equated to being a racist. Whatever the media system labels you, that's what the vast majority is going to put on you. And they know the power of this, and that's why they do it, because it has that exact effect. For the rest of his legacy, you will not discuss it without discussing this. For the rest of Bill Cosby's legacy, you will not discuss him without discussing this. For the rest of Michael Jackson's legacy, you will not just discuss his talent, you will discuss other things. It is very easy for the media to describe you however they want to, and the majority of the world agrees with it, and they put that label on you. That's what they're doing to Kyrie. It's nothing that he said or did that's anti-Semitic in any way, right? The main thing is, when they ask you to denounce it, you better stand strong on denouncing it. And if you don't do it to our satisfaction, then we're going to take things from you, we're going to embarrass you, and then we're going to give you a list of chores to do to satisfy us. And that's what they're doing to him.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't say anything to equate that. And another thing I want to say real quick about Kyrie, we talked about a little bit in pre-production. I want to stress that on camera. You know, to those who challenge this man's intelligence, this man went to some of the best schools in New York. This man went to some of the best private schools. He went to Duke University. Now, I'm not acting like everybody at Duke's a damn.
He had a cup of coffee at Duke.
But I'm just saying, let's be real. Like, I mean, at some point, we have to recognize the level of education people have. They spend good money on. I don't think he's unintelligent at all. I think he's very intelligent, very well read. The problem is, when you don't play the game the way it's designed to be played, you are punished for it. I mean, this reminds me of when everybody was questioning how smart Muhammad Ali was. You know, when everybody was like, well, he's just doing all that rapping, he's not an intelligent man. He was a very intelligent man. Like, it was, first thing that happens is they question your intelligence. So people would dispute anything you say, like what you're saying is nonsense. That's number one. Then after they do that, then they give you a label, and that's what you have. You know, and that's just not true for him. I think he's a very intelligent guy. I think what he's speaking is facts. I think he's getting caught up in the moment of his anger towards the NBA from this vaccination shit. He's still sore about it. He still feels some way about it. He's still having this inner revolutionary moment with the NBA.
Yeah.
So all of the things he's doing has always been a part of Kyrie. He just knew early on when he played with LeBron not to talk about that shit in public. Not to say nothing. It's always been who he is. He's been God body since he got in the league. He's 5%er for real. He's that guy. Yeah. But he didn't talk about it early on because he knew it wasn't beneficial for him. He got an issue with the league. He got an issue how they treat him. He on his high horse, and he feeling now, I'm finna show y'all my power. He's doing the same thing Kanye is doing, and he's gonna lose just like Kanye is losing. You do not have the power. You need them more than they need you. And until you change that scenario, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So even with,
but he's not wrong.
Some of the things that, you know, Kyrie has, you know, stated, and it was actually one thing, you know, Stephen A. Smith said in regards to, you know, what he feels about Kyrie Irving right now. He was like, you know, I feel like he's not a bad guy, but he is just in this mind frame of he's been gathering research, like something clicked something has clicked in him mentally to be like this guy who wants to promote being a voice for the voiceless, like how we talked about with the vaccine. But, you know, right or wrong, indifferent, whether you agree or disagree, his stance on, you know, certain things has any and everything to do with inequality and what he feels is being dismissed or not the proper light being shined on his people. And I look at that in a sense, and I'm like, okay, Kyrie, if this is where you at with it, then
stand on it.
Then that's where you at.
Yeah.
With it. And so far, I feel like he's done that.
He got enough money now.
He hasn't
where he can stand on it. He has more than enough money to survive.
Yeah, and he hasn't like called out for like everybody stand down with this.
No.
He's good with being out on the island on his own. I know some people were like, yeah, but are you gonna stop looking at the NBA like how the Colin Kaepernick thing was different. Mm-hmm. It was very different because he willingly boycotted the NFL, right? Now you have an opportunity to say, all right, I'm riding with him because what he's boycotting is something that I'm engulfed with. Kyrie Irving didn't do any of that. Like, he's not asking anybody to stop watching the shit. They forced his hand, and we're not watching Kyrie now because of him. Right. Not because he was like, all right, I'm not going to, I'm going to protest a certain entity of the game because this is how I feel, like how y'all doing my people. Mm-hmm. He spoke his mind, and essentially the First Amendment, is that what that is? He spoke his mind, and now there's recourse.
The arrogance and the comparison, real quick, Parks. The arrogance, because when you said it, it made me think about this. The arrogance when in comparison to Kanye and Kyrie is really, they have way more in common than I noticed before, right? In terms of their arrogance. Mm-hmm. And I believe, me personally, this is my opinion, I think Kyrie put himself at one point on the same level as LeBron and the KD. I don't think the league has treated him like he's on that level at all.
Because he don't know how to be as political.
No. Exactly. He doesn't know how to play
mainly LeBron.
The right way. And I think
LeBron,
he knows exactly how to play.
He was like, hey, I ain't.
He knows what to say.
I'm not messing with any
He
of
knows
that.
what to say. He knows what not to say. That's why he didn't air that episode of The Shop with Kanye.
Right.
Like
he
knows.
said that in his interview too.
I know not to put my brand out there to get destroyed. Mm-hmm. But Kyrie has an issue with the NBA, and I honestly feel like if they would have embraced him the same way they embraced him, this wouldn't happen. This is his big middle finger to the NBA. Everything he's doing. See, intelligent people know how other people are going to respond to what they do. Every man with intelligence can manipulate something. And he knows how to manipulate the media. He knows what he's saying is going to gain traction. He knows people are going to feel this way. He knew the uproar that was going to come with it. And it's not a coincidence that the people who run the damn team are Jewish, right? All of that is connected to why he does what he's doing right now. Yeah. And it's going to cost him. The arrogance is going to cost him. Now, he still has way more goddamn money than I could ever dream of.
Right.
So he probably could live the rest of his days in happiness and not get another NBA check. But the bottom line is, it was calculated, in my opinion.
You think it was calculated?
I think he did it to personally offend certain people without doing something offensive. Mm-hmm. He tried to play the clever game. Right. Well, I didn't technically say anything offensive, so you shouldn't be offended. But you knew by doing it, the response you was going to get by doing it, bro. Yes. And I think that's what the older statements are saying to him, like the anchors and the NBA players are being called Uncle Toms right now. Only thing they saying is, brother, you knew damn well when you did that what was going to happen. You're smart enough to know the response from that. So don't act surprised when it happens.
You know what it is? Honestly, I think it's part of that, and it's something we probably talked about in one of the earlier podcasts. It's always something with that dude.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the court, off the court, what have you. It's always something with that dude. And so, and look, regardless of how you feel about the situation, it's another case of it's always something with that dude. And it's like it's like you love, and I think a lot of the people in the NBA, they love his skill, they love what he does.
Oh, he's amazing.
On the court, he's a magician.
Can we do without him? Do you think the NBA can do without him, Parks?
I'm already lonely, like looking at.
Can they do without him? Y'all might disagree. Of course they can.
Okay. Well, I'm saying naturally, they replace every player.
Yeah.
I'm saying, as of right now, where he is now, to get to a point, because it looks like it's where we headed with this.
When you say can we do without him, without him, do you mean like will the NBA suffer?
No. I'm not saying this.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying like whatever that, because I believe we're on a pattern of they're creating all of this noise to make other teams. Because I'm just watching ESPN. They say the Lakers are rethinking the trade now. Like, teams don't want to attach to him, right? So we know where that leads. When they start saying teams don't want to take a chance, after 2 years, you're not playing in the league anymore. So are we to a point where they can do that to Kyrie and everybody just moves on?
Honestly,
you mean like it's okay? I just want to understand what you mean. You mean like is this like
we knew with Colin Kaepernick, he was being blackballed.
Right.
So
We know in the next 2 years, that's exactly what they're going to do to Kanye when it happens.
So you're basically saying if they blackball Kyrie.
Yeah.
Will we feel like it's an unjust thing, and will we stand on that? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying to get your opinion on that. I don't even think it's going to be half of the uproar it was for Kaepernick if they do that.
But
Nah.
this is different though.
But he's being blackballed the same way. He didn't personally do anything to violate anything to be put out of the league.
But you know what? I shouldn't say I'm telling you,
It's
but
a 5-game suspension.
it's a 5-game suspension. But
I see where it's headed.
if he were, okay, so 2 things. One, I actually think he is going to play again this season. I kind of talked myself out of the whole threshold thing. I think he'll play again this season. But yeah, also if it were a scenario where he got, blackballed and he never played again, as much as from a talent perspective, as much as it'd be sad to see him not on the court, the NBA wouldn't miss a beat.
And the people wouldn't either.
Yeah, and right. Yeah, it wouldn't be
But that's how it's designed.
and that's how it's designed. Like it wouldn't miss a beat. Like,
You're not gonna literally. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it just is.
It's up to us to be like, oh yeah, we riding with, and that's just that's a hard feat, man, because there's so many. Again, when you think of the NBA, like it's close to 80% of us that's doing our thing, and like this is the thing we talk about as well when it comes to just. Inequality and unjust and capitalism is what we, speak on. Like there is a level of next man up, or
it really is.
When we chop one man down, like we're not going to miss a beat. Like it's almost like you're missing out if you try to literally ride with this situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're so engulfed in the entertainment world when it comes to sports and just,
and I mean,
everything.
I don't wish this for him. I don't wish it, but I'm just from the pattern that I see, it's all the same design and pattern. So I'm already seeing what they're doing to Kyrie. I'm already seeing other teams respond to the backlash from it.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing at the end of this year when he's a free agent, teams are going to be very reluctant to sign him.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're going to have stipulations in the contract that he won't want to agree to, right? So we know where this road is headed.
Yeah.
And in the next 2 years, Kyrie could not be in the league and it'll just move on. But he didn't do anything to justify that.
Nah, I totally agree with you. And then what's crazy about it is he's almost like a better example when it comes to scare tactic as far as all right, fuck up if you want.
This was going to happen to you.
Because Colin Kaepernick, you almost could assume that he was a starting quarterback, but he still hadn't imprinted his stamp in the league like somebody like Kyrie Irving has.
Right. Kyrie Irving's a champion.
So that and he's arguably like the best in the league at his position.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't say that about Colin Kaepernick. So once you get like somebody like Kyrie Irving,
but listen to what you said. He's not even as talented.
It's just what I'm saying. Like I'm saying exactly what you're saying. Like if they do that, like that's gonna be just the power move of the century when it comes to get in line, y'all, because anybody can get it if you don't act accordingly how we want you to act.
And the players are not going to support him.
No,
they're
already
not supporting him.
They're not,
So
because
not the current player, I'm sure retired players that had the balls to say
the
something.
only person that has supported him is Nick Cannon.
And Jay Williams.
Jay Williams, I didn't even hear. Okay,
He
so
stand on
too?
it all the time, bro. He put himself out there with what he says about him. He's the one that's calling for people to look into the Jeff Bezos part of it in terms of how he's profiting off of it, and nobody's offended. Like he's really putting himself on the line. But again, he's a retired basketball player.
It's not the same,
right? He's an analyst. They take that whatever. No one currently in the NBA who's a superstar is going to back him.
Yeah. LeBron already has X'd himself out of it.
KD
That's the biggest
his
guy.
homie KD playing with KD.
He don't even want to speak on it.
KD don't want nothing to do with it.
He don't want to speak on it. Man, it's heavy. This is a heavy one, Vince.
He on his own.
I remember in what's that? It was either the first or second episode when we were talking about Kyrie, and you actually had good points, and I was the one that was like, "This nigga put his foot in his mouth, blah, skipping it." But this is something totally different. Like, this is a field, whereas we're in the land where, you know, if there's not order according to the other side, then you got to be held accountable for that. But again, and I brought up the Cooper Riley thing. I brought up like plenty of things in the past. Whereas, yeah, if there is disrespect amongst our culture, it's somewhat reactive as opposed to proactive. And that sounds funny because everything is kind of reactive, because when somebody gets out of line, this, and this happens. Yeah. But the feel I get, and let me know if y'all feel the same way, fellas, the feel I get is that when our culture is disrespected, it's let's sit and wait to see how they really feel about this and what it means to us financially if we continue to allow this.
Got to check the right boxes.
In this instance, there is not a care in the world about the financial ties that are attached to this person and these players. Listen, you did something that's insane to the hierarchy, and you got to get out of here, period.
Jordan Chase told Kanye,
he
can take all of the millions.
That was even prior to the Drink Champs episode. That was prior to that.
But that's what I'm saying, to the point that you made. Like, when you offend a certain group of people,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter the loss. You're gonna lose is the ultimate goal.
Because that hold on, just, okay, to keep status quo alive in this country and to make sure that we're still abiding by these illegitimate, invisible rules that this country has, we're still gonna put things in order no matter what the repercussion is financially, culturally.
This is heavy.
You fucked up, and now you gotta pay. This is a very heavy conversation because it's like, how do you wiggle through this without people thinking like, oh yeah, I agree with everything Kanye and Kyrie said. Not even, I'm sorry, let me stop, because Kyrie didn't say anything. Right. You know what I mean? But just to like, without having your words twisted around and without having you like looking like you're on the same side as being anti-Semitic, which is what they labeled those guys as, how do you even say how you feel about it without people thinking that you're just out there on that?
I can't say anything. And it's just for black people. It's a different set of rules for black people. Brett Favre
we talked about
took
this.
money from the poorest people in the United States. He didn't lose any endorsements. He didn't lose any deals. They didn't take no trophies. They didn't even make him pay it back yet. And this is a fact, bro.
Yeah, no, I understand
it's
that.
Who it is, not what it is. It's more, I'm telling you, bro, and I'm not even want to give no credit to these crazy ass cartoons, man. But I honestly my son watches these shows all the time, Family Guy and all these American. Bro, there is more anti-Semitic material in those cartoons than you will see anywhere else. They don't care that it's a Jewish man that's writing the show, so he can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But he does everybody, black, Asian. They go so far in terms of making fun of cultures, bro. It's completely disrespectful.
But they'll push back on you with that because
It's
when you
completely
look at a black
disrespectful.
comedian that's on stage.
Yeah, it ain't equivalent to that, bro.
But you know what I mean?
I know.
They'll push back.
They're talking about comedy, right? The right to art and license to that. No, the hell with that. If you watch these shows, you see jokes that make you cringe, how they talk about cultures of people.
Yeah.
And sexuality, how they make fun of different sexuality. It doesn't matter. We can't do it. That's what it is. It ain't nothing else. If they just get to the root of it, when is everybody pissed off? When we say it.
Facts.
We can't say it. Everybody else can say it. It's okay. We can't.
Yeah.
Remember your place. That's what it feels like to me.
Oh, wow.
Hey, black man, remember your place. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And that's what it is to me.
That's actually a great point you brought up. Like, just remember your place.
Remember your place.
Because we've been in this country for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest arguments, or not arguments, but the biggest rebuttals to when there's an issue in pointing some type of inadequacy or inequality out in this country, it's almost like we're bugging somebody about it. The other side about it, we're bugging. And then I had we even talked about this earlier in regards to, because we had a lot of dialogue earlier. Almost, I gotta, let the editor know to start recording shit. Like, even when he spews silly shit out, record it, man. Shout out to Calico Media. But like, we had very good dialogue earlier, and I think one of the issues is because there's such an astronomical head start that we're trying to catch up to, is again the lack, the inability for us all to like just get on the same page with this nonsense when we talk about like racism and we should have did it like this, we should have did it like that. It's almost like we stay stuck and focused on this. Like, we as a culture, we stay stuck and focused on, well, they was treating us like this, they was treating us like this. How can we, and we just stay stuck there, and then somebody else in the culture may be like, well, you just looking into it too deep, and then this person over here may say, well, you ain't looking at it deep enough, and then by the time we're doing all that, everybody else is gone with it. Boom, they gone. And that's one of our, and I don't even know if that can be fixed, because according to human nature, we're all not supposed to be on the same page all the time.
So I think you can not be on the same page about small things, but I think on the major issues, whether it's your relationship, whatever it is, you should be on the same page about those things. And I think, like, I'm gonna just put it out there. Like, I think our biggest thing, and when I look at this whole Kyrie situation or the Kanye situation, I'll say this much. The response you get from the Jewish community, regardless of what side you're on, it's a united response. Okay, there's no, let me not say that. I have yet to see any response from a member of the Jewish community, whether it was Kanye or whether it was Kyrie, where it's like they're divergent. There's a difference of opinion. It seems to be the response as a community, I'll put it that way.
They won't publicly come out.
Right, they won't publicly come out. But as a community and as a front-facing aspect of the community, this is their stance. I feel, once again, it's my opinion, I feel like we're one of the most, hell, I won't even say we're one of the most, we're the most forgiving people.
We talked about that.
Out there. And I feel like, once again, my opinion, I feel like part of the problem is we have a
power in this country.
And we have a sometimes we're too quick to turn the other cheek, or we're too quick to let people off the hook for slights that have been done for us. Like and case in point, like the whole thing with Kanye was, the people who worked with him didn't, the line that was too far in the sand was when he offended another community that wasn't the African American community. I can make the argument, and I think we could all make the argument, that at least on paper, there were things he said or did that people in our community kind of made us scratch our heads and kind of made us look at him like, what the fuck, dude? And I would argue a lot of those issues got some press, got put up to the forefront, and it wasn't enough of an issue for the people that work with him to do something about it. My opinion is that's because I feel like we're not united. We can have our differences of opinion behind the scenes, but until we unite and say, as Black people on the outside, you can't do this, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't say this. And that's where we draw the line in the sand, like where the Jewish community, anything that's perceived to be anti-Semitic is a line in the sand, and that's where they're gonna come for you. Until we have something like that, I think we gotta, like, I know it sounds simple as focusing on our unity, but we're not united, man.
But
we're not united.
Don't you feel like that is
like we should be? Let me put it that way.
Don't you feel like that has everything to do with the stance of power in this country? Like,
oh, absolutely.
For example, even the Black Lives Matter, they figured out a way to wiggle in and deteriorate that, right? Like by saying, well, the leaders are using the money for this, and they're using the money for that, deteriorating the value of what
the message was
Black
all about.
Lives Matter actually mean. Because we all know, guys, there's like so many entities in the Jewish community, Caucasian community, Asian community, all these other communities that have more of a powerful stance in this country, that there is corruptness going on in it, right? But the minute that it's us, and even just kind of listening and focusing in on what you were saying, you're not wrong, by the way, but it's so much more of a detriment to us when there's no camaraderie or focus to just like, let's tackle this shit together, when I feel like every culture has those same issues.
It's way too easy to put a wedge.
It's like literally like if we don't do it like this, we're failing already. But we're going to just continue to trip up, and the lead is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it was one thing I was saying, and I think I said it in a previous episode. We have to be better than human, in a sense, to kind of tackle the negative situation that has been applied to us in this country. And how do you propose we be better than human if we're human? And the only thing I mean by that is, if we need 100 people in this area to get together, and we could buy everybody in that whole community has like $4.5 million. And you stand to gain a certain amount of money by buying this whole block, right? Now, if in fact four people disagree and the other 6 people agree, and we just can't get on the same accord, that block is not going to get purchased, right? But it's the same like viewpoint, like with black people. We have to understand that 4 people disagreeing is not a fucking option if we need to do this.
Right.
But maybe those 4 people have valid fucking points. And like, no, we need to do it like this. You should be doing this. Did you look into that? Did you make sure this was right? Did we cover this? And now there's this separation. So now there's separation on top of segregation from the country, period. So it's just a very hard.
Well, there's groups. Now, when you say that, I think of this, and overall you are right, because it's not enough for us to brag about it. But I'll say this. Some of my son's friends, and I like looking at the younger generation because I learned something being around different cultures at that same age.
Yeah.
When you're around different cultures at a teenage age, like it's a different experience. I think that's how a lot of people break the bullshit. If you go to high school and grammar school with different cultures, you know what's real and what ain't from your personal experience. But I watch them, and the one thing I watch is my son who has the, and I want to say it correctly, but I think they're Arabian or at least Arab. The friends that he have that are of that culture, majority of their parents are business owners, right? I don't think it's one of his friends that's of that culture that their parents don't own a business. I'm being honest, from our experience. Their children have their independent businesses as kids because that's what they're taught, right? That's their culture. Their parents own businesses. They own like these little smaller plaza areas with a series of stores. And now they're teenagers. Like for one of our get-togethers, one of my son's friends, this kid's 15 years old, we hired him to bring the chairs and everything for our gathering. Like he's already hitting that lick to create a business for himself. And this is a kid who's still in high school and he doesn't have to work for anybody. He knows, he has the mentality to create his own business, his own stream of revenue. That's how he's raised and that's what he understands. And there are a few black people that I've grown up with who are business owners and implement that on their children, and you see that with their children. They wasn't thirsty to get a job. They were thirsty to get enough money to start their own trucking business or a convenience store or a barbershop. We have that. We don't have enough of it, right? Because if that was ultimately the mindset of an entire community, that's dangerous, right? Like that's the Black Wall Street experience.
And we got to support it.
When we can go to a place in history where it existed. Right, when we talk about Black Wall Street, we talk about a collection of black people who came together and utilized their resources to grow businesses together. And they did it. And I can guarantee you they wasn't all friends and they probably all didn't agree about the same damn thing. But they saw the bottom line and they got on the same page to do it. We got a blueprint for it, but it's designed to never duplicate that experience.
And the thing is,
it's designed to
like you said,
about the black dollar. Like the black dollar doesn't last any longer than
if we want to help
blink.
And I know people always go over large, because I think that's the biggest thing. When you can get to a point where so many people doing it, that's progress in a lot of people's eyes. But I tell people, every little bit matters, right? So everything that people learn and they teach their children, they're creating more people that think that way. So there are those who do it, and I guarantee you, anybody who's a business owner, they're drilling on their children to follow that blueprint to be a success in life. Now, whether their children take it and decide to run with it or decide to do something completely different, because we got those scenarios too. We don't have enough power when it comes to money. We don't have that. But we are the culture.
And even
we dictate what's popular. We dictate what's profitable.
It's stolen from us.
Right.
And it's even like for example, I owned a barbershop. Me and my shout out to Swoop the Don. Me and my homie, we owned a barbershop. But when it came down to, we would obviously there was only black stylists and black barbers in our shop. But anything else, and we even had like cleaning a cleaning program that came that was black owned. Towels that was black owned. But the big shit, supplies, chairs, clippers, all this shit was
the property.
You have to go the property.
The place where it is.
You gotta go see them. You gotta go see them.
Yeah.
You gotta go see them. So no our black business turns into a partnership with another Caucasian whatever. Like when it comes to distribution, that's a big thing too.
We don't have that.
Distribution is huge. As long as distribution, and we going off in a tangent, but as long as distribution is still in the palms of their hands, our black-owned businesses, I love them 100%. We need to support them. We need to understand that our black dollar cannot. Again, we are fucking we are, as far as coaches go, the lowest income earning people in this country, but we're the number one consumers. We put that together. You know what I mean? We spend it outside of our community. But what we don't really talk about is even when we support these black businesses, the black businesses have to keep their business afloat by going to give their hard-earned money to the white people. Still, it's just it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. It's such a hard battle to figure out. But that's the reason why we move on to this next segment, which is the sponsor. We got to take care of the sponsor.
Got to.
Yep.
This is black owned. We even fuck with a black owned grower. Are you feeling stressed? Don't laugh, man. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this for real. You can, light up the rest of that while we talk about this. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling just overwhelmed by the cancellation of, some of your so-called black heroes or black entrepreneurs or here at Strange Fruit Premium Cannabis, we have remedies for that. These remedies are in regards to, mental health issues, stress related, which is a branch off mental health, and just, a lot of medical ailments that, can help you through things. We do have cannabis on deck. There is flower. We now introduce, do I have it on deck with me? We've got an introduction of disposable carts, disposable pens.
Okay.
Man, you don't even have to buy your own pen and try to find, does this one fit? We have disposable pens now. So the minute you finish them, you can just get rid of them and hit us back and we'll grab another one for you.
Nice.
So we have flour, disposable pens. Obviously, we still have oil. We have edibles. Strange Fruit Premium Cannabis has it all for you. And this is where we get everything to you guys on the 606 Whateva podcast. We also have apparel, hoodies, jackets, coats, hats, whatever you need, we have. Just hit us up, Strange Fruit Premium, www.strangefruitpremium.com. You can go to Big Mail, aka The Premise, on Facebook. That's my fan page. At 606 whatever. You can reach us on these entities, and we will definitely either deliver to your doorstep or we'll figure out a way to get you the information that you need. We're basically a dispensary on wheels. Strange Fruit Premium Cannabis.
All right.
Guys, let's put our glasses up. I don't know if let's do this. Calico, can you do us a favor, bro? Can you grab that tequila bottle that's over there? I know it's Shout out to Calico too, man.
Yep.
Calico the one that make us look the way we look, be the way we be, is the way we is. We had some conversation earlier. He know if it come down to it, I don't play games with him, man. I ain't scared of him, man. This right here, so we was doing, let's talk about this. We was doing this stint on black-owned tequilas, right? And I think this is the last one. There's a few, but they're not sold in Illinois.
Okay.
Right? There's a few I looked into, not sold in Illinois. So I don't know if I like go on Amazon.
Amazon for everything.
You feel me?
Basically, yeah.
So I think this is our last one, and then maybe we'll move on to whiskey, black-owned whiskey.
Sounds good.
This is the Rocks. Terramana tequila. How do you guys like it?
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's, I think so. I'm a shout out Kevin Hart. I think he has like the best one. Kevin Hart's is legit. So what we'll do is shout out to the Rock, another black owned. I may do Mike's. Like the next episode, we'll do Mike's. He just got so many people's hands in it.
Yeah.
You know. All right, let's do this, man. Let's put this up.
We gonna have to apologize to Isaiah before we have Mike's tequila.
Let's. That's a good. That's a good way.
I'm just asking.
And it's a damn shame because he from here. He born and raised in Chicago, and we still take Mike over him, and I still do. But it's just a shame that we do that.
Mike. Hey.
Ain't
First off,
nobody choosing Isaiah over
that's
Mike.
a good cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Vince, don't fuck around.
Yeah.
You know what to do. So I just seen a clip on, I don't know who said this, but they basically was like, stop playing. Let's get down to the bottom of why Michael Jordan is really pissed off at Isaiah Thomas. Because Isaiah kind of eclipsed him 3 out of the 4 times. And Isaiah was the brain behind knowing how to fuck with Mike. You know what I mean?
And if you really like,
So we really should appreciate Isaiah.
I was just gonna say that. Like, if you really think about it, like, and I get where Isaiah is coming from, but I would also be like, if you think about it, you got the ultimate piece on the chessboard. You got a winning record, like the most competitive basketball player that probably any of us have seen in our 40 some odd years. Mike, right. You got a winning record against this dude. In not just a winning record, you got a winning record in years you stood in the way of him getting to his ultimate goal. Okay. And like, the utmost respect for Isaiah. Got a winning record against Bird, Magic, and Jordan. Like,
he ain't got one against Isaiah, though.
You ain't got one against Isaiah. And I know, honest to God, I think with Mike is such a competitive, like he's the type of dude where you cannot, I mean, we've all heard the stories. Like, you can't have one up on him. Like, you, and Isaiah, like, right, and Isaiah, and also, if you look at, but also if you look at Bird, like if you look at the guys who at one point or another stood in the, you look at Bird, Magic, and Isaiah. You can make an argument. I use a Game of Thrones reference. You can make an argument at some point, Bird bent the knee. You can make an argument at some point, Magic bent the knee.
They bent it together.
Only person that ain't done it
he wasn't fucking around.
is Isaiah.
Fuck you.
And not only did Isaiah not bend the knee, Isaiah talk his shit and be like, and I got a winning record against you.
But you can back his shit.
And I can back it up.
We used to bust your ass.
We used to bust your ass, right.
We got old, you finally beat us.
Right.
So he could say that.
We used to bust your ass.
So we got old.
Yeah.
You couldn't do shit with them.
I feel okay.
They couldn't do shit with them. When they were in their prime, The Bulls got their ass beat up every year, and we knew it was gonna happen. And
But like the year before that, I think they went 7 games with them.
They's a loss.
The year before, they ain't never
Lost.
swept the Bulls though.
But when you lose,
You lose. Right.
You get to talk shit when you win.
Yeah.
And Isaiah can say, you beat us when we got old, and you should have. It should have been the changing of the guard. But when we were at our prime, you couldn't do shit with us.
And I think the whole walking off the court back in 90, I'm sure.
But they all did that.
And
When
they
he
all
said
did that.
Not like that.
No, they did. And when he
Not
said
like
that
that,
in that interview, I went back. Joe Bird did it to Isaiah. Like, they all did that to each other.
They didn't walk. So the fashion that they did it in, though.
No, that was personal.
Yeah.
Like they.
But to me, that's the passing of the guard. That's them saying, okay,
Isaiah
it's
ducked
over.
his head down.
Yeah, he didn't want no contact with him. They want not even no.
So it'd be like if the game was over with.
Yeah, that's some sore loser shit.
And my shit over here, and you just walk off and we don't come to me at court.
Yeah, that's some sore loser
Nigga,
shit.
You walked past me and did that shit.
That's some sore loser shit.
You know what I'm saying?
But then I also think, I shouldn't say think, I know Isaiah's looking at it too as like, I participated in this last dance shit, and then I'm watching it and I'm getting called an asshole. And so I know that's probably.
But Mike did give him his flowers.
But Mike did, right. Mike did give him his flowers, but
Like, outside of Magic,
he the second number 2 point guard. So
Period.
I feel like 2 things. One, I feel
that's
like.
the good thing of that was. I'm sorry. That
Yeah,
was
go
just
for
the
it.
Good thing I seen about Mike as fucking irritating.
Yeah.
And as much
Yeah,
hate
knowledge.
he had
To me, that would be the. To me,
I
that be.
had to acknowledge great.
And to me-
that's what Mike will do.
And to me, that'd be the ultimate compliment, because it's like, this man hate my guts.
I hate your guts, but you the second.
But
best
still
point
say
guard
after
ever.
Magic, I'd be like, we ain't never got to be friends.
Man,
I've never got
but
to.
I do acknowledge you as
Right.
the second greatest point guard.
And then if I'm Isaiah, I'm like, we ain't never got to be friends.
That was
Just
enough
know
for me.
I got a winning record against you, and
And
you
then-
can't
and
do
that's
shit
why
about
they'll never be
it.
friends.
And that's why they'll never be
Because
friends.
Mike
Yeah.
is used to, if you watch that documentary and if you know his personality, he's the most comfortable when he's in the room when he's the shit talker.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, when you look at the documentary, when he had Patrick Ewing in there for the All-Star game, he talked shit to Patrick Ewing. He put Charles Barkley over. You ain't never won no ring on my watch.
Isaiah, like, you can't do that shit to me.
The company of people
Right.
you talk shit to. Can't say that.
It's Isaiah, right.
He couldn't like
Couldn't say it.
another guy that like could hold his own in the shit talking against him is the glove, but the glove ain't had
Nobody
it.
respects the glove.
Yes.
Now, if he had beat the
See how he
Bulls,
laughed?
Right. yeah,
they
yeah.
beat the Bulls in the finals, that's something he could
Couldn't
talk
do
shit
it.
about.
Right.
You couldn't do shit with Mike.
Mike in the finals,
So
right.
you the glove, but in the finals, Mike was what he averaged.
Yeah.
38 points
Yeah.
a game.
It was fun watching the Marks talk though. Like you already knew Mike was.
They
just-
beat the shit out of
Mike is
But
a
then I'm
special
watching it.
shit
I'm
talker.
like, and I like Gary, but I'm like, man, he
That's how Mike
he
talks
lunching.
with the-
right. I'm
He
like,
looked
come
at
on,
the-
man.
He looked at the iPad.
Right.
Whenever he was looking at it, he laughed.
Yeah, I'm like, dog.
with the glove.
But
Yeah.
then he put it in perspective, like I was having issues because that was when his father, it was around Father's
Mm-hmm. He was
Day.
like, he was like, my performance
Yeah, that
had
was
nothing to do with him. I was dealing with some other stuff, and I was like, that man was thinking about his dad, man. He
you
wasn't
had
thinking
to
about
try,
you.
you
Yeah,
lost.
Shout
yeah.
out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike, because if Isaiah come from my neighborhood, that's what's really
Well,
terrible
Isaiah,
about it.
what high school you going to?
St. Joseph.
St. Joseph.
Yeah.
That
St.
man
Joe.
come from my neighborhood,
Who
West
played
Side's
them, too.
finest. He made it out of the West Side to the NBA. He's a Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest players, one of the 50 greatest players from the West Side of Chicago, and we'll take Mike over him any day.
And they tried to ban him because what he said, what he said about Larry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all see you remember when
Say
they
he'd be
used
an
to
average
have,
player if he was black.
yeah, he'd just be another,
Yeah, just be another guy. But because he's a white,
Larry was a yeah. I'm like, Larry's a bad motherfucker, bad. That was a bad motherfucker, bad. Right, stop.
He used to cuss you out of
Right, I was like, don't. Yeah, I was like, ugh.
he was amazing.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
But let's do this. Before we get to talking about this, brother, and what's been going on with him, before we get out of here, right? Let me do something. First of all, let me let y'all see the. So my man, shout out to Fred, my man Fred Caldwell. If you need to holler at him. Come to my Instagram or come to my Facebook,
which is,
I don't know his directly.
Which is
my Facebook
yes.
is Big Mel, aka The Premise. That's my fan page. You can use the government, Jamel, Jamel, last name Phillips. If you want to go to my Instagram, my IG is at Big Mel Music or at 606 whatever. WHATEVA. My man makes these custom hoodies. This is the shout out to Kobe hoodie. You know, he did his thing on this. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm gonna take this off too, because before we get into this next brother, I have to.
Okay.
I gotta like kind of change wardrobes. So let me back up.
I know what you already know what you about to do. Go ahead.
I'm loving what I
Go
have.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and remove the hat. You know, I got a surprise for y'all, bro.
I almost want you to edit this in slow motion. That'll be absolutely beautiful right now.
You know,
because it's time.
It's about that time, and I've always
took a long time to have this day.
By the way, I'll let y'all see the back of it.
Yeah, that's official.
Her too. Like, he did his thing. You know what I mean? I love you,
Kobe Bean.
But now it's all about Justin.
The good old young
Justin Scholar Fields.
All right.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, y'all, now I can sit down nice and comfortably. I see you already.
You know I'm ready.
He's in the record books now.
Sure is.
Most yards rushed by a quarterback in the regular season, 178 yards. Eclipsed Michael Vick, 5 yards. I think the next person after Vick is
maybe Cap.
I don't know if
Cap in the playoff.
In the playoff, yeah.
In the regular season, I think it's Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
Lamar Jackson.
that makes sense. Yeah, because he actually rushed for like 1,000. Yeah, that's right.
So, maybe he's not the guy. Man, why he make that pass? What is he doing? Hey, be patient with him. This is the quarterback position, the hardest. Man, fuck that, man. We fucked up on this one. And once again, he's just not gonna be the guy we're looking forward to. Last 3 games, people are just literally. Oh, I knew it from the start. I knew it. And you know, not to shit on fans, because I get where we're at. I get how just decimated we are at the quarterback position. We look,
been forever.
And it's been very rough.
Our lifetime, we've never had a quarterback.
We lack patience.
But then,
and I've always said, I'm sorry.
No, you got it, bro. Go ahead.
I've always said, since the man has gotten here, in my opinion, skills, Vince, hands down, from a talent aspect, the best quarterback we've ever had since I've been watching.
Oh, talent-wise, no doubt.
Period. My entire lifetime, up to this point, at 43 years old, this is the first time I've ever seen a superstar at the quarterback position for the Chicago Bears.
Yep. He's a rock star too. Like, even outside of what he's actually doing, his star power is just. Like I said, I went to the family day before the season started.
Family fest.
I felt like people was almost crying when they seen him. Like, please listen, man.
It's at a preseason game, bro. The man Andy Dalton threw a touchdown. They booed him. Let me make this clear what I just said to you. I was at Soldiers Field. Andy Dalton threw a touchdown. They booed him. We don't want to see you.
Yeah.
We want to see the kid. And when the kid came out and lined up, all of Soldier Field lost their mind.
Now,
that's what they want to see.
With that being said, I'm not saying that there's no more maturation. I'm not saying that there's no more growth that's going to happen. I'm not saying that there's no more boo-boos or accidents that's going to take place. What I'm saying is when I mean he's arrived, I mean
You can see
all
it.
You see it.
fucking
You see it.
naysayers
You see it.
That were just like on the fence, like
They on the bandwagon now.
we did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have drafted him. Here we go again. Shut up and look. Just look at what's going on. There's gonna be, and shout out to the new front office. Like a lot of people had issues with people that really don't watch football had a big issue with the Robert Quinn.
Exactly.
That was.
And the Roquan
had.
You had to. You had to. Because when
we got a fourth rounder for him.
But now,
I mean,
when the
when you get to that age, it's just like the Jared Allen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the year before we grabbed Jared Allen, he had like 11 sacks. He came over to us, he didn't do a goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest question,
get rid
even
of that.
then, Mel, I'm glad you said that, because the biggest thing that the Bears has always done, they don't do anymore. The Bears
Bring the
normally
name
take everybody's leftovers.
Yeah.
We take
The
everybody's
name. The Bulls
leftovers.
do that too. They used to do that.
We'll just take the leftovers. Like we get Jalen Rose when he's damn near 40. We'll take we'll get Rajon Rondo when he's on his way out. Like, we get Ben Wallace when it's over.
D-Wade.
Like we always get people's leftovers.
No.
And this front office is innovative.
I'm out of here.
And they know how to run a team.
The thing that I take to me the Robert Quinn thing was a no-brainer because you get 18 and a half sacks for a guy his age. Like you playing on house money and get out as fast as you can. And I know some people, felt a certain way about the Roquan Smith trade, but what I'll say is, and I didn't either, but what I'll say is,
especially when I seen what we got back.
Not only what we got back, but
we needed that.
They offer them good money.
But also you can't in the NFL now. What's Roquan? A weak side linebacker, or your weak side linebacker, unless you like Michael Parsons or somebody who is a one, and you're not. Your weak side line.
He's leading the league in tackles.
That's fine, but that's fine. But to me, tackles sometimes it's an overrated stat. But your weak side linebacker can't be the highest paid player on your team.
Not that one.
Your defensive end, sure. You got a left tackle that's one of your
middle
I got
linebacker.
it. Your middle linebacker, I got it. The quarterback, I got it. But your weak side line, it can't be. It can't be.
I was off because their fucking equity and capital, what they have to spend.
Yeah. Over
And then we needed picks.
Yeah.
Maybe I wish we could have grabbed Claypool. I wish we could have expended our fourth round instead of our second.
The thing with Claypool is it's not even the second rounder. The thing that makes you question it was the Bears used their second round pick. You would have liked to use the Ravens pick. But then they had to, because then all the talk was that Green Bay, you were negotiating against Green Bay.
Yeah, they offered the second.
So I'm not crazy about the price they gave for Clay, but I got it. Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah.
The front office for the Bears, they always do the same thing no matter who they hire. And that's why it's a different regime.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls is a great example because when the Bulls did what they did last year, you knew that we were going in a different direction. You knew then. Because we started doing things we've never done before. And that's what the Bears are doing now. They're doing things we never had the balls to do before. And they've already made it clear. When it came to Robert Quinn, we all knew Robert Quinn probably should have been gone last year for $60 million.
Right.
He should have been gone. But he gave us a favor. He broke a sack record and increased his value.
Damn.
So now we can get something for him. Because had he not done that last season, we wouldn't have got nothing from Robert Quinn. So I was happy they finally unloaded him. And he didn't give us but one sack and didn't really make a difference in the game and this defense.
But I tell people, and y'all see me post it on Facebook, our mentality as Bears fans is so predicated on what the defense does.
Yeah.
And so
I never got us anything.
And I'll say it every week this season. I don't care, to be perfectly honest, I don't care if the defense gives up 40 points a game. As long as we continue to see Justin progressing and Justin getting better week in, and even in the Miami game, that pass hit the receiver Now the receiver's a trash ass receiver, but hit him in his hands. Like it was a perfect pass. Like
he blew that.
he blew it, but it was. But you look at what Justin did. Justin made the perfect play. As long as we continue to see that progression on offense, you also got to remember a lot. Like, yeah, we're looking at the reason why we need the picks, the reason why we need the cap space, is because a lot of these guys that are lining up in the wide receiver role, that's lining up on offense, a lot of these guys are not going to be on the roster next year.
Right.
Like they're going to be out of here. So what you want to see is Justin continue to make progress, and then you want to see him. You hope they make great roster moves via the draft, via free agency next year, and you want to see Justin and the team take that next leap next season. So I would
business. Like that's from the direction they're headed.
Yeah, so I would tell everybody
everything that they're doing.
Yeah, I would tell everybody.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I haven't been so happy.
Yeah.
During like
A loss?
Yeah, exactly. Like they lose and you're like,
Y'all on the same page?
yeah.
Everybody, the whole country is,
Bro.
and despite what the score is, they rave about his performance now.
Like even
So,
the Miami game when they
these
came
last
out and they were
three
like, yeah, they should have called pass interference on Claypool,
Yeah.
and then the pass interference they called on Eddie Jackson was wrong.
Well, they blocked a punt.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
and I'm just
Right?
like, all right, yeah,
Blocked punt
right.
for a touchdown. But the last three games, the Patriots game, the Bears offense scored 32.
Yeah,
The Cowboys game,
number one defense
the Bears
in the
offense
NFL.
scored
29.
Against the number one
The
defense.
Dolphins game, and the Dolphins, we get it, they got shabby defense.
They still got a
but
good
the Bears
defense.
scored 32.
They're
But
going to
then-
continue to score.
But then also they're gonna probably score a good amount of points against Detroit. But I'll say this. Shout out to Mark Eberflus. I at least appreciate we got a coach that's like, you're our quarterback of the future. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you like to
Do
do?
you not see the difference?
Yeah,
though?
I see it. But
These last 3 or 4 games, you see.
but
the
I
difference.
appreciate
I think it was that
The Washington.
The Washington game.
Washington game. After
When
that,
they
we
couldn't
like,
score
it's no
4
way
times
possible.
in the red
Yeah.
zone, and that kid could have ran that ball in all 4 times and scored. And
But-
somebody
we
said, "Why
dealt
do
with
you
a lot
have?
looking at that game?
Why do you have such an amazing athlete that you put in shotgun?" I'm confused.
but I appreciate Eberflus was willing to swallow
Getzey.
his ego, and Luke Getzey were willing to swallow their egos, go to the quarterback and be like, look, what are some things you want to do and how can we,
Everything he
yeah.
already just said. That's not Chicago.
Yeah.
No.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
What did Matt Nagy do? No, I'm still gonna play him.
It's
in
my
the
offense.
We
Yeah.
that I know.
fucking step on his
You had to make him.
neck to be like.
And that was the 4th year.
We did. We stepped on his neck when it came to David Montgomery when he wasn't running.
Why you
David
not running the
Montgomery
ball?
At all. We stepped on his neck when it came to fucking Mitchell Trubisky.
He
That
can
never
scramble. Put
worked
him in a
out.
position to scramble around, run outside the pocket. You wanted to make Mitch a pocket
Very
passer.
conceited
You
guy.
wanted to make David Montgomery. You didn't even really want to run him. You just wanted to throw screen passes to him.
So I will say, like,
4 years he tried
We
this.
it's
I
looking like it's on the upswing.
so far I respect what Pools does. I think obviously what they do in this upcoming off season with free agency, because I know we're looking more at the offense than the defense, but you can make an argument that at some point they might have to like look in replacing like seven positions on the defensive side of the ball. So eventually they'll have to pay attention to it. But
He knows how to maneuver.
I feel like he knows what he's doing.
He know what
and
he's doing.
yeah.
And the thing they're doing is the opposite. And this is the Kansas City way. We're going
Right.
to build our offense up first, and then we're going to get good players on the defense and build the defense up. But as long as we can outscore you,
Right.
we can still win games with a bad defense.
And I was going to say, don't be surprised, when we say, oh, there's these positions on the defense that need to be looked at. Like, don't be surprised if once they do look at it, don't be surprised. Don't expect the defense to go from whatever it is now to the number one defense. In a perfect world, your offense might be top 5, top 8. Your defense might be anywhere from 10 to 14. But the thing is, you can win a Super Bowl with a defense that's like in the top half of the NFL. It's all about how many points you can put. Exactly. Exactly.
If you can score 30 points a game.
Yep.
You can win 80% of the game.
Exactly.
That being scared, the last 3 games, the Bears are averaging 31 points.
And they're going to continue to go in this way. And even if teams, and this is what I love about it, right? Because I know everybody, I've watched the analysts talk about it. I watch everybody flip-flop about Justin Fields.
They were doing it on ESPN the other day, like crazy.
People that said he was a running back, not saying he's a great player.
Burrow was always riding with Justin Fields, though.
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark was.
Clark.
Yeah.
The other guy, like, he come on early in the morning, kind of.
Talking about Dan Orlovsky, the quarterback. Because I know Trent Dilfer, he does something every week where he breaks down Justin Fields had a great game when they say he was trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He breaks the tape.
It's a couple guys out there that vouch for Justin.
This kid, we already know. This is the thing that I love. And that's why I say it. Again, it's all the same thing for me. When they start doing things differently, you know you're going in the right direction. It took Matt Nagy 4 years to finally call plays where David Montgomery could get the ball to start the game. All of a sudden, David Montgomery was averaging almost 100 yards a game. It took him 4 years to let Mitch scramble out the pocket. They played the Dallas Cowboys that Monday Night Football, and Mitch damn near had a perfect game that night. It took him 4 years to get it. It took Luke Getsy 4 weeks. Took him 4 weeks. He didn't even have a real bye. He had a semi-bye because they played a Thursday night game. And it took them to sit down and say, hey, we got a kid with all of this damn talent. Anytime when he got to run for his life, he can run and get a first down whenever he wants. He's one of the most beautiful finesse runners I've ever seen. No one can catch him. The angles that he runs, you can't tackle him. Instead of using this kid for his talent, what he's good at, we're trying to fit him into an Aaron Rodgers offense. Can we build an offense around this kid? It took him 4 weeks to change that. And now you're seeing how much better he's getting, how much more accurate he is when he throws the ball, how many more opportunities he has. The defense don't know what to do with this kid. They had a spy. For those who don't know football, defenses elect a guy, they call him a spy. He's a linebacker. His job is to follow the quarterback no matter where they go. That's it. That's his only job on the field, is to just go wherever the quarterback goes. They had a spy on Justin Fields for 4 quarters, and he couldn't do anything with that kid. The spy knew he was running his direction, and he'll run on the angle. The last play, when he pump faked his ass like he was going to throw it, and ran 60 yards for a touchdown.
I did not think that was going to be a touchdown either.
Bro,
like,
he
amazed me.
You see the angles that he was running, nobody could tackle this kid. But no, we finally got a group of people that's going to put together a good situation for the kid. And you got an owner who he'll make whatever deal he needs to make to put the team in a better situation, regardless of how people feel about it. Roquan Smith was a real important piece to the Bears. Like, for the last 3-4 years, we put him in the same essence as our next Brian Urlacher. Like, he's the next great linebacker for the Chicago Bears. It's the tradition of the Bears. They always go in this direction. He broke tradition.
Yeah, he broke tradition.
We offered this kid good money. He wanted to be the highest paid. He's not worth it. He's going to go. That sends a different message to your locker room. Yeah. If you're not worth the money, we're not going to give you the money. And so now that's understood. Now they spotlighted the most important asset they have, and it's Justin Fields. Now, next year, this is the thing with the Chase Claypool situation. All of the best receivers are signed. So it ain't no list of good receivers.
Yeah, no, the free agent market not good at all. Yeah.
You're not gonna get a number 1 receiver in free agency next year. You're gonna get a number 2 and number 3 that want to be paid like a number 1. So him making the deal now is cheaper than they would have had to make in the offseason. But you would have had to give up more for Chase Claypool after this, for desperation. That's why I like they made the deal right now. This is the best price, let's do it. Also, if you got a guy like Chase Claypool, now you can draft a young guy. You can draft a guy. You don't have to go crazy in free agency for him. But I'll tell you what they have done. They have put other players on notice that this is the future team you should latch on to. Now other players, especially defensive players, are saying, I'll go play for the Bears. Other players will want to play for Chicago now. And they have the money and the assets to make whatever deal they want to make. If they decide at draft, we want to trade up in the draft, they got enough assets to do it. If they decide we want to trade for a number one receiver that's already signed, they got enough assets to do it. They're in a perfect situation to build this team. And they're going to build it around Justin Fields and not around the defense.
That's the goal.
And I can't wait.
Yeah.
When we start doing things different, we see better results.
Welcome back, man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, brother. I couldn't wait to see y'all.
Been Saturday.
Yes, sir.
I think we just about did what we did.
Yeah.
As usual, we had to close it out with that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gonna go crazy this weekend.
I know I value you brothers and never will I try to, exaggerate my situation and make y'all feel jealous or less than me. But I am traveling to Atlanta to see the Bears in Atlanta. I got some good seats.
Okay.
Yes. Love me, y'all.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna win that game too.
Yeah, I mean, whether they win it or not, I get to see Justin
it's so
Fields
much better
do his
when they
thing,
win.
man. But at the end of the day, guys, this is the 606 Whateva Podcast. Enjoy y'all. Enjoy everything.
Excuse me.
Yeah, get that out.
I got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 of them, y'all.
I was trying to hold it. Yeah.